Hobbii yarn haul! What's up guys, Mandobug here, and in today's video I've got a bunch of yarn from Hobbii that I've ordered and I can't wait to open it. Some of this is new to me, so let's see what's in here. So starting off with this big boy, this is Manaya, 200 grams here. But it is a single ply, which is kind of what it looked like in the photos, but I couldn't tell for sure. So I might have to scrap my plans for this one, but look at that, it is gorgeous. As far as touch goes, it feels like an average quality wool. It's not a super fine wool. It is a little bit toothier when you look at its microns. It is not on the fine side. And you're looking at 65% wool, 35% acrylic, 200 grams or 510 meters for 558 yards. It's recommending that you use a 5mm needle or crochet hook. Designed in Denmark, made in Turkey, and it is saying that it is a number 4 medium worsted weight. I love these spooky Halloween colors, and I originally thought that I would use this to redo one of my Halloween sock designs. I think I'm gonna have to not do that because this yarn is just gonna pill too much. I can tell it already has a fuzzy halo to it, and it's a single ply, so I think that I would wear through these socks too quickly, so not gonna work for that. I'm sure this will be great for something else. I'm excited to have it in my stash. So this other yarn I bought to go with it, so now it's probably either gonna go with it for something else or maybe be all on its own because I do like the two colors together. This is Navia, I think that may be how you pronounce it, Navia sock yarn, or sock yarn, but it's not sock weight, right? So typically sock yarns are fingering weight yarn. This yarn instead is, I'm looking at the label here, it looks like 120 meters, calling for a 4.5mm knitting needle. 70% wool, 30% nylon, 50 grams. It doesn't have the weight on here at all, but based on the yardage, which is, well, meters at least, 120 meters, which you add 10% to get the yards, you're looking at a worsted weight. This is also a number 4 worsted weight yarn. So this wool is a scratchy wool. Like this is a toothy, hard-wearing wool, which is most likely why it says sock yarn. It is something that's going to be hard-wearing on your feet, which is why I got it. I got it to make socks with this yarn, but that's just not going to work. So what I may do instead is save this for a different pair of socks, but it will need a main color because there's only 2 50-gram balls of worsted weight here, which is not enough for socks. I thought I was gonna do it as contrasting colors with this yarn, but we'll have to scratch that. But that's not the only yarn I ordered. I also ordered more of this yarn, so I already had some of this. This is Magic Sock Wool from Happy Sheep, and it's 70% wool, 30% nylon. It is a superwash wool. It's fingering weight, or number 1 super fine. It is calling for a 2.5 to 3.5mm knitting needle or crochet hook. And where's your yardage? 400 meters, which is approximately 437 yards for 100 grams of a ball. And it makes the most gorgeous, it's the most gorgeous gradient. You can see it's a nice and slow gradient. As far, again, speaking to the wool content, it is an average wool that is a little rustic. It's got a little bite to it, but it's not as rustic as the sock yarn. But I also ordered this Super Kid Silk from Mayflower. So these two together, I have designed a shawl. So I have worked with this yarn before. This is the color number 2. And it's 76% mohair, 24% silk, and it is a 25-gram ball with 195 meters in it. And it doesn't have the weight on here, but it's a very fine thread with a halo because of the mohair content. Let's see if I can. So you know, you could call it lace weight, but it doesn't actually work up to lace weight. They recommend using a 4.5 to 5 millimeter knitting needle to work this up, and that's because of that halo. It will be transparent, but you can't really work at a tight gauge with this because of the fuzzy halo. But I held the two together for a shawl. I'll show that to you real quick before we get into the rest of the haul. So this is the simple asymmetric mohair shawl that I designed, which is a free pattern that is available on my YouTube channel here, as well as my website, mandobug.com. And it holds the two together. So I actually ordered that yarn to make the tutorial, which if it's up by now, I'll have it linked. If it's up later, I'll backlink it. So that is what I got that yarn for. Oh, and I didn't mention this. This color is the hot and spicy colorway. I wanted to see what this pattern was going to work up in a different colorway like, so I got more yarn. I got this colorway. This is the same exact yarn, the Happy Sheep Magic Sock Wool, but I got the colorway, let's see, number 18, which I don't know the name. I guess it's not on the ball, but it's on their website. So I'll go ahead and add that in over the top if I can find it. But I love the colors here, this blue to green to magenta, and it's kind of a deep navy, almost black here. As far as differences between the colorways, the base yarn feels consistent. So the same quality of wool and nylon, they're the same level of toothiness or bite. For me, this is next to Skin Soft, but I am not one with a wool sensitivity or allergy, so if you are, this may not be for you. And of course, I didn't just get this one because the shawl carries the mohair yarn. I got this blue. So the pattern I used originally, the Super Kid Mohair from Super Kid Silk from Mayflower. I also noticed on the Hobbii website that Hobbii had their own Kid Silk. It's a little bit heavier on the mohair content. It's 70% mohair, kid mohair. It's 70% kid mohair and 30% silk. So I wanted to compare the softness. Is one softer than the other is really what I wanted to know. I also wanted this color because I thought it went so well with this colorway. So I'm really excited to see how these are gonna play together. This will make this look more blue. It's gonna blue over the whole thing, but it's still gonna have those colors just muted with a blue. I can't wait to see this. This is gonna be another one that just flies off my hook. But back to the softness. Man, you know, they're pretty close to the same. I would say they're almost identical, but the Hobbii Kid Silk is softer, I do think. Yeah, this one has a little more of a scratch to it than this one. Mohair tends to have a tickle factor to it. I shouldn't call it a scratch, I should call it a tickle. It is like a tickle factor that you sometimes experience with alpaca as well, if you're familiar with alpaca. So if you're sensitive to alpaca and haven't tried mohair, you probably are sensitive. Give it a try, but you probably have a sensitivity. If you like alpaca, have no tickle factors with it or minimal tickle factors, then you can do mohair, which I can, thankfully. I like this. I really like this Hobbii Kid Silk. It is softer. As far as price difference, I don't remember, so I'm gonna have to put that on the screen, whether they're the same price or not, which is a great comparison when you look at quality of what is or isn't softer. But I'm glad I ordered it because the Hobbii Kid Silk does feel different. It feels softer. That was all the yarn that I ordered. They did go ahead and throw in these guys, which if you're a crocheter, these are for knitting. These are cable holders. You put your stitches on there when you're working a cable because you work your stitches out of order. I actually cable without a cable needle, so I will probably donate these to somebody who uses them. Oh, and of course, stuck to the bottom, their signature candy. So that is my Hobbii yarn haul. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye!